In this video, we're going to look at class rosters in CPS. Let's go to the Prepare Main tab and the Classes and Students subtab. Now, you have been provided with a database that includes a pre-populated class of 40 students, titled Default Class. This was done so that you may be able to use this database with the set of 40 clickers that you have received in your CPS kit. Since a class already exists in this database, it also already has a teacher identity in place, in this case called Default Teacher. However, if you'd like to use your own first and last name, we'll show you how to do that now. Click on the default class in the lower left pane and then click on the Edit button. This will open the class information window. Click on the Contact Information tab. This shows the information that the database file currently has saved about the instructor associated with this class. To change this, just delete the text in the first name, last name, and email address fields and replace those with your own information. Then click the Save button and the Done button. Now your instructor information will be used by default in this database when creating any future classes. Okay, now let's create a new class. To do this, click the New button and select Class. Choose K-12 as your institution type and click Next. Leave the box unchecked that says Make this a CPS online class. If you change the contact information to your own name and email address in the previous section of this video, you'll note that the teacher field already contains your name. Now just type in a class name. Notice that I am typing in first period. Remember, this is the class of students, not a subject class. We recommend giving your class a name that reflects the specific group that it will contain. Then click Next. Click Next one more time, and then click Done. Notice that you now have a new class in the list that contains no students. Let's add some students by clicking on your new class roster on the left, and then clicking the New button and selecting Student. This will allow you to type in a first name for the first student in this roster. Type in only a first name and a last name. For now, leave the pad ID, which is the same as the clicker number, as it is. Then hit Enter. This will take you directly to editing a second student. Repeat these steps a couple of times until you have a few students. You have just manually entered cadets into a class roster. If you would like to edit any information about a class roster, just select the class on the left and click the Edit button. This will bring up the class information window. From here you can change any information about this class, but usually you will only need to pay attention to the class name. If you would like to edit any information about a cadet in one of your class rosters, just click on the class that contains the cadet's information and then click on the field on the right that you would like to edit. Type any changes you would like to make and then click Anywhere Else. Your changes will be saved automatically. Note that you are able to sort rosters by first name, last, or any of the categories by clicking on the column header. Now we're going to take a look at a way of quickly creating a class that would be treated just like any other class roster, but without any actual student names. Even though you already have a class like this in your database, which, like the one we're going to create, is titled Default Class, we're going to show you how to do this in case you might need to quickly create a separate class in the future. We're going to call this process Creating a Quick Class. To create a quick class, go to the Engage Main tab and the Lessons and Assessments subtab. If you have not selected any lessons, you will see a button that is labeled Engage Verbal. Click this button now, and then you will see the Verbal Questions Setup window. Several options are available, but we're only going to use one small tool here. Under the Class Options section, about halfway down, click on the button labeled Create. This will launch the CPS Create Class window. Type in a class name and modify the lower range and upper range fields to reflect the clicker numbers you have at hand. For example, if your lowest numbered clicker is 33 and your highest numbered is 64, then change the fields to reflect that. Then click OK, but don't click the OK button on the CPS Create Class window. On that, click Cancel. Now go back to the Prepare Main tab and the Classes and Students sub-tab, and notice that the class that you just created is now on the list of classes. Select that class and notice that the students within it are present and have clickers assigned, but only have the default information in the name fields. You are free to change these names to represent actual cadets at any time you choose. Creating a quick class or default class in this way may be handy, for example, if you were planning on using CPS on Parents' Night, at a PTA meeting, or in a training session with your colleagues. In this video, we have taken a brief look at creating and managing class rosters and the cadets within them when using CPS.